So we're gonna find a comfortable seated position, sit nice and tall. And if it's comfortable to close your eyes. If it's not comfortable to close your eyes, just have a nice soft gaze somewhere in front of you. And let's all shrug our shoulders all the way up to our ears. And take a moment in that shrug where you're really squeezing your shoulders up towards your ears, feeling that squeeze. And then let's slowly bring our shoulders all the way down out of our ears. And then take a nice big breath. And maybe a sigh. Nice big breath. Just arriving. One more nice big breath in through the nose. Yeah. Good, just settling in. So I'm going to try and guide you as much as I can with my voice through this class. So if you want to just go ahead and trust and follow my voice through this process, hopefully you won't need to look at your screen too much, and this can really be more of an inward exploration. I saw a quote this week that we pose, in photography, we pose for the photographer, but in yoga, we're posing for ourselves. And I really like that because it points to this idea that this time we spend on our mat is really a practice for us to be who we want to be, to know ourselves deeply, in a really deep way, so that we can really show up and be who we want to be in the world. So hopefully this experience can be that for you, something where you are really tuning inward, feeling what's there, noticing the differences from day to day by showing up to practice, giving yourself that space and time to see clearly. Good. Feel your sit bones nice and heavy on the ground. Crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. Shoulder blades on the back of the body. And let's all bring our hands to our knees and give just a little bit of pressure from your hands into your knees, helping you sit up maybe a little bit taller, bringing the shoulder blades a little bit more on the back of the body. Just breathing nice and easy, big breaths. And then let's all go ahead and exhale all the air out, all the way to the bottom. Maybe feeling the low belly lift a little bit. And then let's go ahead and inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top, holding, retaining the breath. And then exhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Finding the bottom of the exhale, maybe a little lift in the low belly, pausing. And then go ahead and inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Feeling the fullness of your breath, nice and full. Pausing. And then exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Staying with it if you can, pausing at the bottom. And then inhaling for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Feeling full at the top of the inhale. Pausing. And then exhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom. Feeling the empty. And then go ahead and have a nice normal inhale, slow and steady all the way to the top. And a nice normal exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Go ahead and if you have any pressure still in your arms, you can release that pressure. Find a nice relaxed posture. Just take one more moment. Attention on the breath. Good. And then go ahead and bring your hands to heart center. Feel the pressure between, put a little bit of pressure into your fingers and your hands, but not a great amount, just a little. Feel that solid connection between your hands. Pull the shoulder blades on the back of the body, shoulder blades out of the ears, crown of the head lifting. Nice big breath. Go ahead and lift the hands all the way up to the sky. Look up. Keep pressing a little bit of pressure into your hands as you look up. Lift from the waist. Inhaling. And then exhaling, turn your palms away and bring your palms all the way down to the ground, letting the fingertips touch the ground. Bow the head. And then pulling the hands back in, Anjali Mudra to the heart, exhaling. So again, inhaling up, pressing the palms together, look up, exhale, palms face out, reach out, let the fingertips come to the ground. Inhaling, back to center. And exhaling, bowing the head here. Inhaling, reaching up, look up. Reach as far as you can, up towards the sky. Exhale, turn the palms out, reach out, all the way back down to the ground. Fingertips touch the ground. Inhale, bring hands back to Anjali Mudra, heart center, and bow the head. Exhaling. Good. And then let's go ahead and, if you're sitting on any props, go ahead and remove the props. We're going to come to lying on our back. So go ahead and lie down all the way down onto your mat. And you can bring your legs outstretched. Tuck your shoulder blades a little bit underneath you, palms facing up towards the sky. And then let's go ahead and bring our feet together, so big toes touching. And then reach your hands up towards the sky, palms pressing in towards each other. Feel your back ribs pressing down onto the ground. So this is active. So legs are active. Low back, low ribs, excuse me, not low back. Low ribs pressing down into the ground. Shoulder heads pressing down into the ground and palms pressing into each other. Take a nice big inhale here and exhale. Start to reach your hands overhead just as much as you can, keeping the palms together and the low ribs on the ground. Inhale here and exhale. Bring the palms back up towards the sky, pressing the palms together. Inhale here. Exhale, let's reach the hands back overhead. Pressing the palms together, lengthening the back of the neck. And then exhale, palms back up. Go ahead and release, bring your palms about shoulder width apart now. Keeping the legs active, tailbone reaching down towards the heels, low ribs into the ground. Let's go ahead and lift the hands overhead. Maybe you get a little bit more range of motion with your palms apart, maybe not. And just breathe. Reach the palms towards the back. So keep reaching, like as if we were in a yoga studio, you'd be reaching towards the back of the room. Keep the legs active. And then go ahead and reach palms back up towards the sky. Good. And then bring your hands down, palms facing up towards the sky. Big toes touching, tailbone reaching down towards the heel, low ribs on the ground, and just slide your hands along the ground, up and overhead. Like a snow angel type of thing, only we're not including the legs. So there's a little internal rotation of the legs, big toes touching, legs active, and just moving the arms, just sliding them along the ground. If there's one area in particular that you want to take a breath there, you can stop, take a breath, but don't linger too long. Go ahead and enjoy the movement of this. Good. And then go ahead and let your elbows bend, let your hands rest on the ground overhead, and then bring one knee in and then the other. So knees over hips, and then extend your feet up towards the sky. And then reach your hands up overhead. So low ribs might be touching the ground. With maybe a little bit of space underneath the low back to keep a neutral pelvis. And reach the toes up towards the sky. So we're going to be pointing in this one. So pointing the toes, elongating the back of the neck. So nice and long in the back of the neck. And then let's go ahead and lower just the right leg. And then go ahead and lift. And then lower just the left leg. And then lift. Let's do it on the breath. Exhale the right foot down. Inhale, reach it back up. Exhale the left. And inhale, reach it back up. Point the toes, lift. And then let's go ahead and bend the knees. Bring the arms down by the sides, and this time let's have palms facing down. And then we're going to rotate both knees over towards the left and try to see if you can keep the knees stacked on top of each other. So there'll be a twist in the waist. And also see if you can keep the right shoulder down on the ground. See if you can find that connection all the way from the right shoulder to the right knee. And then go ahead and come back to center. And then we'll shift over towards the right. And if this is easy for you, you can also start to pull the knees up towards the shoulder. And then come back to center, over to the left, pulling the knees up maybe. And then coming back to center, rolling over to the right. And then come back to center. And then we're going to come over to the right, and this time let's elongate, or excuse me, come over to the left. We're going to elongate the right leg. And then come back to center and straighten the left leg. Coming over to the right, excuse me, and then straighten the left leg. Reach the toes. And then come back to center. Come over to the right this time if you want to straighten both legs. And then come back to center. You can stay with whatever stage you want to. So knees bent, one leg straight, both legs straight. Okay, and then let's come back to center. Pull the knees into the chest. And maybe rock side to side. Good, and then bring your nose to your knees and give yourself a nice big squeeze. And then you can either just come up to sitting, or if you like to roll up and down, you can roll. Give yourself a little back massage, and we're gonna eventually end up in a seated posture. Go down, Mila. Go down. And then we'll come around onto all fours. So here, let's have hands underneath shoulders, fingers a little bit wide, knees underneath hips, and toes untucked. And then we're gonna have, so we'll have the top of the feet pressing down into the ground. Externally rotate your arms a little bit so your elbow creases are facing mostly forward, and then give a little bit of bend in the elbows. So a lot, you can tell maybe in the video that my elbows can kind of hyperextend. So I have to make sure to really put some bend in my elbows. Shoulder blades are coming, or shoulders are coming out of the ears. So shoulders are coming down the back, reaching the crown of the head forward, pressing the ground away from you. Let this start to bring the energy into your arms, into your hands, waking up all the muscles, giving maybe even a little bit of warmth, strength, stretch, just gently, just beginning. Crown of the head is reaching forward, so the back of the neck is long. Good, and then we're gonna go ahead and tuck the toes. And keep all that alignment. So keep all of that really strong. So elbow creases facing towards the front of the room. Little bend in the elbows, shoulders pulling out of the ears. Keep all that. Lift the knees. And keep lifting, keep lifting. Keep the knees nice and bent, and slowly keeping that alignment in the arms, shoulders out of the ears, press all the way back to downward facing dog. Good, so the torso might be resting on the thighs. And you can release your head and your neck. Keep that external rotation in the arms and a little bend in the elbows maybe, and press the ground away from you. And then slowly start to work your legs towards straight. Maybe you need to adjust your feet. It doesn't matter if your heels get down to the ground or not, but you just start to work your legs towards straight by lifting the tailbone up and back, and then allowing the length in the back of the legs to naturally come with time. Maybe you want to shift a little bit, stretch side to side. Maybe you want stillness. You decide. One more nice big inhale there. And then let's go ahead and roll forward into plank pose. And again, think about the alignment in your arms. So we want the elbow creases facing mostly forward. Doesn't need to be all the way. In fact, with our different bodies and different alignment, it may not be right for you. So definitely follow what feels right. Good. And then let's, for this first one, lower our knees. Keep that alignment. So keep the belly, low belly pulling in. Start to lean the torso forward, bending the elbows, keeping the elbows close to the body, and start to lower down all the way to the ground. Inhale, roll your shoulders up towards your ears again. Feel that nice squeeze. And then pull them down onto the back body as you lift the chest. Lift the crown of the head. Press the tops of the feet into the ground. Pubic bone into the ground. Inhaling and then exhaling, lowering back down. Inhale, roll the shoulders forward, up and down the back, pressing into the hands, pressing into the tops of the feet, pulling the tailbone down towards your feet, and then exhale, lower slowly. Inhale, roll the shoulders forward, up and then down onto the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, pull the heart through between your hands, press down into your hands, into the top of the feet, into the pubic bone, lengthening the front of the body, strengthening the front of the body. Good. And then go ahead and release, tuck the toes, and either, well, let's lift up onto all fours and then slowly all the way back to puppy pose. So we're gonna move into puppy pose from child. So you can come into a modified child's pose with your toes tucked. And then we're gonna lift up, reach the arms forward. Hopefully the pelvis is going to be underneath pelvis over the knees as you reach the arms forward. It's okay if the pelvis is behind the knees, if that feels better to you. Try to get it over the pelvis. And again, that external rotation in the arms. So we want the elbow creases facing forward, shoulder blades mostly on the back of the body as we reach forward. And then press strongly into the forefinger and thumb side of the hands. And reach the pelvis forward as you press the hands into the ground. And if your forehead comes to the ground, you can bring your forehead to the ground. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Tuck the toe. If your toes aren't tucked, tuck the toes. Press back to downward facing dog. Reach the tailbone up and back. Press the hands into the ground. Elbow creases working towards moving, pointing towards the front of the room. And then let's let's step our right foot through between our hands. And we're going to come into low lunge first. So if you need something to pad your knee, if it feels sensitive on the ground, definitely pad your knee, take care. Otherwise, untuck the back toes if that works for you. And come up onto your fingertips first. Lift the front toes, spread them wide, and think about doing the same thing in the back foot, only pressing all the toes wide into the mat. Shift your hips so both hip points are facing forward evenly. And then let's go ahead and come up into low lunge. So let's bring our hands to our hips first. Take a nice big breath. And then shift your tailbone so it's reaching down towards the ground. Pull the right hip back in space and down towards the ground. And then when you're ready, go ahead and add the arms, but add the arms in the same way that we've been working a little bit today. So bring your palms together in front of you first. Shoulder blades are out of the ears. Shoulder head, excuse me, out of the ears. There's that internal rotational arm so the elbow creases are facing forward, but no hyperextension, right? We have a little bit of bend in the elbows. And then we're gonna lift up, right? But instead of losing the alignment of the arms and just going up here, we're gonna keep that alignment of the arms. So pressing the palms in towards each other with that external rotation. And then maybe look up. Good. And then go ahead and release both hands back down to the ground. Tuck the back toes and come into high lunge. So you're gonna come lift the back foot, pull the right hip back in space. Internal rotation of the left leg, pressing all parts of the feet that are touching the ground evenly down into the ground. Reach the crown of the head forward, shoulders out of the ear. Good, and then place the hand, step back to downward facing dog. And take a couple of breaths in downward facing dog. So inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. One more. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Shift weight into the right foot and step the left foot between the hands. And then lower the back heel or back knee, excuse me. Untuck the back toe if you need some padding again. Put some padding underneath your knee. Good. And then just settling in here first with fingertips on the ground, shoulder blades out of the ears, crown of the head lifting, elongating the front of the body, pressing the back toes evenly, each one down into the ground. And then when you're ready, hands to hips, coming up a little bit. And then you can feel in your hands, maybe your left hip hiked up higher than your right. So start to put that energy into the hip, bringing the hip down in space and maybe back a little bit. And as you do that, tucking the tailbone, or rather the tailbone elongating down towards the ground, right? Because some people have the tailbone, it depends on what our natural orientation is. Some people are already really tucked and need to extend the tailbone out a little bit. Some people are too far out here and they need to bring it, right? But the goal is from these cues is that we're finding an even balanced pelvis. So pressing all the parts of the feet into the ground that are touching. We're going to add the arms by bringing palms out in front of us. Elbow creases facing up towards the sky. Shoulders wide and out of the ears. And then we're going to exhale here. And then inhale, lift the arms, and you can look up towards the sky as well. Lift the low belly. Let that lift in the low belly help you lift the arms even higher. Inhaling and exhaling, hands back down to the ground. Untuck the back toes. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. Come up onto the fingertips into high lunge. Pull the left hip back in space, and as you pull the left hip, also press more strongly through the big toe ball mound of the left foot. Pull the shoulders out of the ear, crown of the head forward. One long, big, nice, long line of energy all throughout the body. Spine being the center. So finding that center line and expanding out. Good. Plant the hands. Step back to downward facing dog. And take 3 nice breaths here. So inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. You can imagine as you inhale, the energy coming up through the inseams of the legs. And as you exhale, coming down the spine, down the hands, back into the earth, pushing the ground away from you. Good, and let's go ahead and walk nice little steps towards the front of the mat. And once you get to the front of the mat, we'll have the feet about hip distance or more apart. And we'll bend the knees greatly and just allow your torso to hang over your knees. You can grab each elbow and let the head hang. And the more that you let the head hang, the more that you can release the effort of trying to hold your head, the more you can allow gravity to create some space, release some tension. You can shake your head side to side. Sometimes it feels good to shake your head yes or no. There's effort in your legs, work happening in your legs. Just allow that to be there. In and then press down into your feet as you lift all the way up to standing, rolling your shoulders onto the back body, palms facing forward, crown of the head again, lifting, low belly in. Coming into Samasthiti. Good. If your eyes are closed, open your eyes, look forward, and we're gonna just hop feet together. Little hop. And then we're going to inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale up halfway, shoulder blades on the back, reaching the crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift, reach, look up, use the whole inhale. And exhale, hands back to center. Again, inhale, lifting, reaching. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach, lift, look up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good. One more time, make it good. Inhaling, lifting, reaching, look up, reach from the waist, make it whole body. Exhale, fold forward all the way over. Inhale, reach up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lifting all the way back up. Then exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Now we're gonna step the right foot back. And we're gonna come into warrior one. So let's actually start with our hands on our hips. So look down at your feet and make sure your feet are in the alignment that you want. So sometimes we do heel to heel alignment, but for a lot of us, that heel to heel alignment feels like we're on a tightrope. And so you can bring it wider apart. So you can scoot your feet wider apart. Bring your hands to your hips. And again, just feel the placement of your pelvis. So just start to become aware of what's happening in the pelvis. Feel into your feet and feel an energy, feel like you can sink down into your feet. So sinking down, coming down, trusting that you have the strength to hold yourself. And then first bring hands to heart center, shoulder blades relaxed, and bow, head down to palms. Nice big breath. And then bring, again, palms out in front of you, orienting our elbow creases up towards the sky. Fill the back body here. So fill this with your breath. So maybe it even feels like a little bit of a lift in the back body. Keep all of that and then begin to lift your arms up towards the sky. Maybe they don't get that far, as in my case, I have shoulder injuries and maybe a lot, like our shoulders are all just so different. Some people have real flexible shoulders. They could be high up here, but you'll notice for me, if I go high up here, my ribs splay, right? This is what we don't want, is taking all of this crunching back here, right? So we want to leave this nice and big and long, all this strength, all this energy in here. Keep that working for you, and only bring your hands up as far as you can and work there. Work towards lifting. Good. And then we're going to look up, straighten the front leg, and we're going to come all the way so that we're facing center. And then we're going to shift over to the other side into warrior three. So I believe that's right foot forward, left foot back. You might be facing away from the camera, but just trust in my voice. And then let's bring our hands to our hips just to get a sense of this side of our body. And is it different? Is it different from the other side? And check out our feet. Are our feet where we want them to be? Take some time to root down into your feet. So feeling that energy coming down into the earth. A little bit of internal rotation of that back leg. And then sinking down, bending down into the front leg, trusting your strength, finding that flexibility, little bit by little bit over time. Bring the palms together in front of you. Press gently. Keep the space in the back body. Pull the low belly in, lift the back ribs, and then begin to lift the hands up towards the sky. Bend deeper down into that front knee. Keep length in the back of the neck as you lift up, pressing the palms together gently. One more nice big inhale. And exhale. Let's go ahead and release, bringing our hands out to the side. So we're going to come back to the center, both legs straight, facing the side of your mat. Good. And then we're going to bend into the left knee and come into warrior two. So in warrior two, we're going to have an external rotation of the front leg. So it's as if your left butt cheek is working towards moving underneath your body. And you'll notice, like, as you do that, your right hip wants to jump forward. So you're going to press the right thigh back, finding that nice big strength, and then bend deeply down into the front knee. Arms spreading wide as the shoulders come out of the ears. So you're depressing the shoulders down out of the ears. Little crease in the elbows, reaching the fingertips out and balancing over the pelvis. So the torso is balanced nice and evenly over the pelvis. Good. Bend down a little bit more. Remembering those nice big breaths. And then lift the arms all the way back up to the sky. Rotate that left foot in as you come back to center. Reaching up, looking up, and then exhaling, coming into the right side, settling into warrior two. Nice big breath. So again, rotating that right thigh externally. So it's as if your right butt cheek is trying to work towards coming underneath your body. And then as you do that, pressing the left foot back. And then you find more ways to work towards both flexibility and strength, right? So we keep ourselves safe and able to practice for a long time. So shoulders out of the ear, crown of the head lifting, and then looking towards the right hand. And then bend, if you can, more down deeply into that right leg. Good. And then let's go ahead and inhale, lift the hands up. Both legs straight in the center. And then exhale, hands down through heart center. We're going to bring our hands to our hips. So feet are facing forward. Outside of the foot is parallel with the outside, with the front and back of the mat. Bring your hands to your hips, shoulder blades on the back of the body, knit the low ribs in, look up, lift the chest, little back bend, inhaling, and then exhaling, start to come forward, keeping that length in the front of the torso, length in the front of the body, and lower all the way down. And then you can bring your hands to the ground if they come. If your hands don't make it to the ground, you can come up onto like anything that you have, books or something to make it so that your hands can rest on something. If your hands are on the ground, let's have them right now underneath your shoulders, right? So there's lots of ways to do this pose, but let's have them under the shoulder for now so that we can focus on lifting the, gosh, what are those called? Your thighs, lift your thighs, quadriceps, there you go. Okay, and then shoulders out of the ear, crown of the head reaching forward, pressing into whatever you're pressing. So if it's the ground, press into the ground. If you're up on your fingertips, that's good too. And then reach the tailbone, reach the sit bones back in space, lifting the quadriceps. Take a nice big long inhale, lengthening the front of the body, and then slowly start to fold over and come to wherever you are. Maybe your head touches the ground. You can walk your hands behind you. You can turn your palms around as well. Just make sure that you continue lifting the quadriceps, pressing down into all four corners of the feet, keeping yourself safe, right? And then also notice in your low back, is your tailbone too tucked? Do you need to work on pulling your tailbone back? Is your tailbone already too far splayed and your sit bones are splayed apart? Do you need a little bit more tuck? What makes it feel more in alignment, feel stronger with more ease? Good. And then go ahead and walk your hands forward. Hands underneath the shoulders. Maybe give a little micro bend in the knees And then bring hands back to hips. And then lift all the way up to standing. Good. Oh my gosh. This time goes by so fast for me. Okay, so let's bring our hands to heart center, bend the knees, and make this nice funny hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift, reach, look up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift, halfway. And then exhale, step back, coming into plank. And then push all the way back to downward facing dog. And then you can bend the knees and you can hop through or step through or however you make it to a seated posture. Have your legs outstretched in front of you. Bring your hands to your sides. So all of our bodies are different proportions. So it doesn't really matter where your hands are, as long as you have some contact with the ground. And that contact helps you keep your shoulders onto the back body, low ribs knitting in, sit bones pushing down into the ground, heart lifting, crown of the head lifting, back of the neck long. Good. And then let's go ahead and bring the left foot, bend the left knee, bring the left foot onto the ground. And then we're going to go ahead and bring the left foot on the outside of the right knee or outside of the right leg. It can be different distances from your body. We're going to bring the left hand back behind us, fingers facing backward, and just begin by bringing that left shoulder blade onto the back body. And then lift the right arm up towards the sky, look up, and exhale. Bring right elbow outside left knee, and then go ahead and twist towards the left. So feel your sitting bones on the ground. It's okay if the left sit bone pulls back a little bit more than the right, but feel them both evenly pressing down into the ground, and let that lift you up. Let that contact of the sit bones be a reference point that allows you to lift up through the chest, pulling the low belly in. Keep twisting, so inhale, feel a nice big expansion. And then exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Inhale, lifting up through the crown of the head. And exhale, twisting. Good. And then go ahead and release. And release that side. And then go ahead and switch. So we'll bring right foot forward, knee forward. Inhale, lift the chest. And then go ahead and bring that right foot on the outside of the left leg. Right palm back behind you, fingertips pointing back. Roll the right shoulder onto the back body. Lift the left hand up towards the sky, look up. And then exhale, bring left elbow outside right knee. Again, pull that right shoulder onto the back body. Feel the sit bones pushing down into the ground. Low belly pulling in as you lift up higher so that you can twist around the spine. Add the head if you'd like by looking either towards the back of the room or at the back of the room. Making sure that you only go as far as is comfortable for your neck. So you can continue looking back only to the point where it still feels open and spacious. No crunching, no forcing. Taking care. Inhaling, expanding. Exhaling, twisting a little bit deeper. Good. And then go ahead and release that. Release the right foot back to meet the left. Inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky. And exhale, fold forward. And you can let this forward fold be just as you like. So if you want to work on lengthening the front of the body and pulling the front of the body forward, you can do that. If you'd like to relax over the front of your legs, around the spine, releasing the head. Wherever you are, just take 3 nice conscious breaths, full inhales and full exhales. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And then let's go ahead and sit up nice and straight. And then go ahead and start to lower all the way down to the ground, slowly. Good. When you get there, go ahead and bend your knees, bringing the soles of the feet to the ground. Maybe adjust your pelvis on your tailbone. Needs to be lengthened down towards your heels. And we're going to do one back bend. Go ahead and tuck the tail and start to lift the hips. We're going to come into bridge pose. So track the knees towards each other so there's a tone of the inside of the thighs. Press down into the feet and then clasp the hands underneath your shoulders if you can and begin to just walk the shoulder heads underneath you as much as feels appropriate. Press down into the whole length of your arms, even your hands, even your pinkies, so that you can lift the chest higher and then press into the feet. Press the feet forward so that you can lift the hips more, but make sure to really reach the tailbone towards your heels, towards your knees. Inhaling and then exhale. Go ahead and release. And go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together, knees apart. You can make fists with your hands. You make fists with your hands and put them kind of where your greater trochanter is, which is where your butt meets your thighs on the outside. If you like that, sometimes that feels better. Sometimes it can be too much of a stretch to allow the knees to fall apart. Your hands aren't underneath your thighs. You can bring them to your belly. Good, and then use your hands and bring your legs back up to center. And then go ahead and reach one leg out and then the other. Maybe shift your shoulder blades underneath you, bringing your palms open to the sky. Maybe pick up your head and just allow a little bit more length in the back of your neck. Release any efforts of controlling the breath or working with the breath, and just let it be as it is. And gradually, little by little, feeling the surrender of your body into the ground, letting go of any efforts, letting go of any lingering effects of the practice. Feeling soft, feeling ease. Maybe still, feeling little bits of release, little bits of letting go. And then starting to come out of Shavasana, let's start by just licking our lips and swallowing. Letting the breath come in a little bit deeper. Maybe a gentle wiggle of the fingers of the toes. And then sliding one foot up and then the other, bending the knees. Taking a breath there. And then rolling over onto one side and resting your head on your bicep. Again, taking a breath there. And then using your hands to bring you all the way up to a seated posture. Go ahead. Keeping soft, keeping as much of that focus, as much of that practice energy as you can, where we're being mindful, aware, present, kind. Feel your sit bones heavy, feel your belly soft. Maybe taking a moment to set an intention, remind yourself of an intention, remind yourself of a mantra you have or some quality of being that you want to bring into how you are in the world, how you're using your time, using your attention, being in relationships. Maybe it's just one word. And then if you want to, we can go ahead and join from a distance in one Om. So go ahead and inhale. Maybe bow your head and end with a prayer that any and all benefits that we receive from this practice, may they be of benefit to others. Namaste.